Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today I want to go over a quick little thing of news that just came out tonight, like literally a couple minutes ago got revealed. It's a very interesting little set. I don't think it has direct applications to us, but I do think it's going to open up some floodgates for some of these archetypes to get other support probably later this year, if not too late afterwards. But today we're talking about the new set that just came out in the OCG called Tactical Tri-Deck, or not just came out, but just got announced for, I believe, June, early June. But it's called the Tactical Tri-Deck. Basically what it is it's three separate pre-constructed archetypes. Basically it's like a triple structure deck kind of, is kind of what it seems to me. Now, I don't think that, I believe it specifically says that it's built up of cards that are already out, so there's no new cards in this, but it's kind of like three approachable archetypes to kind of get people started in the game, and they're decent archetypes. They're not super great competitively, but they have been in recent years. And I think the biggest thing is this kind of gives me a hint, and it gives me the tingles that this could just mean that these three archetypes are going to get support at some point soon, because I think that makes so much sense to like give people a super easy, accessible way to all three of these archetypes, and then maybe a couple of months down the line, and maybe some other set, whether it's a core set somewhere else, you give support for these archetypes, and then the people who like already just got into the game with these new decks now get a way to help these archetypes jump back into the competitive scene, because they really haven't been there for the last year or two, at the very least. So I think that makes perfect sense. At least if you didn't think these archetypes were going to get support, seeing them put in here at least makes you raise an eyebrow and think like, oh, maybe this is kind of a hint that we're going to get it at some point. So those three archetypes that's in Japanese. So just to show you the three archetypes that are listed here. The first one is Cyber Dragon. It's really cool. That's already on my top 10, or my list of 10 archetypes that I predict will get support this year. This even further helps push that. This is like a top 10, arguably a top 5 fan favorite archetype in the entire game. So the fact that this archetype hasn't really gotten a single card of support in like 5 years is kind of crazy to me. So I thought it felt like it was about time for them, and this only promotes that even further to me. So really good to see. The next one is Live Twin, and Live Twin makes a ton of sense. Honestly, thinking back on it now, I was like, why did I put this on my top 10 list to get support in 2024? Because this archetype, Konami's trying to make this archetype, it appears like the next Sky Striker. Now, I know this deck never reached like the absolute pinnacle that Sky Striker did when it was like an absolute juggernaut in the competitive scene, but I do think they have been pushing it in terms of it has like the waifu thing going on, so they're trying to promote it that way. It feels like New Age Sky Striker to them. They do a ton of promotional material for the Evil Twin archetype, whether it's not even just new cards, but like new deck boxes, new sleeves, new whatever. They seem to put Live Twins all over a bunch of stuff, and they think it's just super marketable. And so I wouldn't be surprised if this kind of has a Sky Striker vibe going forward, because Sky Striker's a couple of years older than this archetype, but like I wouldn't be surprised if in like, for the next couple of years, Konami's just sprinkling Evil Twin, Live Twin stuff wherever, just because it's so marketable. It seems to be a pretty fan favorite, popular archetype, and so why not make the money? Your fans love it, so why not give them more? Especially when it's like not even a legit like high level archetype right now competitively. So that's really cool. That makes sense. And the last one is actually Eldlich. This one's pretty interesting as well. We never really got Eldlich support. Really, we got like the fusion side of things. They got the fusion monster and the fusion spell, but they never really ended up seeing much play. I wouldn't be surprised, and I think it's pretty interesting that I think the all of the spells and traps that like summon an Eldlich, in the deck, they say an Eldlich monster, not even specifically Eldlich the Golden Lord. So they did leave that door cracked and able to, going forward, make new monsters for the archetype where all those cards can just summon those out. So that's definitely something to go to see. If they actually give them other engine cards, maybe we could actually see this engine come back a little bit. I think at this point it feels a little bit too slow. They would have to give it, like, it's a deck that needs to be combined with something else to kind of give it a little more punch faster, but also helping the engine go a little faster also wouldn't hurt either. So I think there's some cool potential there as well. Pretty basic archetype though. I mean, I think from getting started in the game standpoint, I think Eldlich is a good deck to get started with, because even though it's a little bit slower than some other decks you're going to be playing, it does really do a really good job, I think, at helping a lot of newer players get used to like the resource management and rotation of cards, trying to keep your resources continually flowing. And I think this deck does a good job there. Live Twins is more of like that mid-range kind of style. You're going to do a little more intensive combos, but nothing too crazy to get players started on doing, a little bit more that way. And then Cyber Dragon can kind of be played in a bunch of different ways. So I like that as well. We've seen Cyber Dragon be played as a control deck with traps. We've seen it played as a hard-going second deck to break boards. And we've even seen it as like a going first combo deck, all at different times in its lifespan. So I think it makes sense, and I think it just kind of opens the door even further that any of these three archetypes could get support by the end of the year, because I just think it just makes sense that way. So just as a business plan, I think that even makes sense for Konami. So just really cool. Just want to go over it here. I don't think it, like, other than maybe hinting at new support for these archetypes later, there's not much else to look into here, right? Like, this is a pre-constructed structure deck basically with no new cards in it. We probably wouldn't get the exact same thing in the TCG, but if they make new cards in the OCG, doesn't matter where it is, they're going to get imported here at some point. So that's kind of what we're looking at more so here. But really cool, really excited. I'd honestly be happy with all three of these archetypes getting support. I'm not mad about any of these three. So I think that's really cool. Let me know what you guys think, though. Or would you be happy if these three archetypes got support? What would you want to see for them if they did? I wouldn't imagine like a giant wave, but like 1 or 2 cards for each, 2 or 3 cards for each that like really help push the deck and get it to the next tier of play. Kind of like we saw with Unchained last year. Got 2 cards or 3 cards and like boom, immediately shot up to like top tier meta. Hopefully we see something like that to at least get them into rogue level, like solid rogue level. But we'll see. But I'm out here for today. Thank you so much for watching, as always, guys. Let me know in the comment section down below what your thoughts are on this whole idea, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.